We are going to look at what it was, why it mattered then, why it is still so good now, why it mattered to us personally, and whether you should watch it again, maybe with your kids. I'm Mike Harlow.
I'm Tim Woodward. Welcome to Custard Creams.
It's 2 Brits, a cup of tea, a biscuit, of course, and the very best of popular culture that matters to us and the popular culture that's being forged today.
Thanks, mate. Well, in terms of Grease and what is it? Well, as you said, we're talking about the film Grease, released in September 1978 in the UK, and starred John Travolta, Olivia Newton-John as Danny Zuko and Sandy Olsen. Very briefly, it's a teen movie set in the 50s, set in 50s California, and it really follows the adventures of Danny and Sandy as high school sweethearts, essentially breaking up and how they get back together. There's a lot more to it than that, but that's really the heart of it. It was a real rush production. I think they said they planned it in 5 weeks. They shot the entire thing in 2 months, which is super fast, for a Hollywood film. They had a budget of $6 million. It was absolutely panned by the critics when it came out. So when the film came out, it was seriously slagged off. I think the New York Times called it a Klutzburger. I think that the Today Show was really critical, and everyone just said it was a bit of fluff, it was a bit of nonsense. But it goes on to be a massive, massive worldwide success. Takes in $400 million at the box office. But I think also crucially, was teamed up with a hugely successful soundtrack. So the thing about Grease, the musical, it had 4 big hit records, which we'll come to in a second. But, Summer Nights, You're the One That I Want, Sandy, and Hopelessly Devoted to You. All huge hits.
And Grease.
And Grease is the word, yeah, sorry. So that's 5.
Frankie Valli.
5 huge hits.
Yeah.
And they were massive songs, massive hits in the UK, 2 number 1s, 2 number 2s. And that was kind of in the build up to the film coming out.
Yeah.
So, it had a huge amount of momentum behind it when it comes.
It had aura, didn't it? You knew it was coming. It filled the year. I mean, we'll come on later to how we felt about it at the time. We were both quite young, weren't we? But yeah. It filled that year. That it was the soundtrack to that year. I mean, it was a very distinct year for me because it was the year I spent in North Yorkshire, which is very different to where I mostly grew up. But as for the story, for me, I think the thing that probably the critics missed is the theme of belonging, because I think that's what gives it its perennial appeal. Because yes, it's a love story, but it's a love story that is overlaid by the fact that they're in they're kind of different tracks, aren't they? They're and also they are at that teenage stage of wanting to belong because they're anxious about their status in life,